Hello guys. So in this session we are going to learn how to create GitOps workflow with ArgoCD and GitHub Actions. So let's start. So first of all, as you can see here I mentioned some prerequisites. Right. So first of all, we need a AWS account. So for our easy to instance, then we need to install Git, we need to install Docker, we need to install Minikube, and we need to install kubectl, and we need to install Helm also. Right. So here, as you can see here, I have already installed these prerequisites. If I run Minikube version, so as you can see, I have already installed Minikube, then I have installed kubectl, and I have already installed Docker, right? So here I have already installed these prerequisites, okay? Now we are going to install ArgoCD, right? So to install ArgoCD, we need to install Minikube. So that's why here we have installed Minikube, right? Now let's install ArgoCD using this following command. So before installing ArgoCD, let's let's understand the let's understand how to create GitOps workflow with ArgoCD and GitHub Actions. So let's look at this diagram. So first of all, as you can see here as you can see the EKS cluster, right? After that, it's go to the sync the cluster status to the ArgoCD. It's pull the changes right to the our workflow, the GitOps workflow as well as ArgoCD application that we are going to create. Okay. After that, it's go to the GitHub, and here is our pipeline, CI/CD pipeline, right? Then, as you can see, the trigger and update manifest, and is push the image to our registry. Which registry? Sorry, registry. That means DockerHub, right? So that's the diagram. First of all, go to the sync to Argo CD. Then after that is go to the CI/CD pipeline. That means our workflow. And after that, our image successfully push to our GitHub registry. Sorry, our Docker registry, DockerHub registry, right? So as you can see here, my DockerHub account, you can see lights. So here as you can see, last push is 2 hours ago, right? Okay. Now, so that's the diagram that how to create our GitOps workflow with ArgoCD and GitHub Actions. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, we need to start our Minikube, right? So let's start our Minikube. So it's starting Minikube. It takes few seconds to start. So that's the diagram, right? It's go to the ArgoCD, and it's go to our workflow, and our image successfully pushed to our Docker Hub registry, image registry, right? Our Docker Hub, right? So that's the diagram. So it's starting our Minikube. So wait a second. So now it's creating our Docker container, and we need to two CPUs and memories. So these MBs, 2200 MB. We need the memory, and we need a two CPUs to creating our Docker container. So as you can see, it's generating certificates, then booting up. So it's almost done. Okay. So as you can see, done. Kubectl is now configured and use Minikube cluster and default namespace by default. That means our Minikube is successfully started. Okay. Now after that, we are going to install ArgoCD, right? So as you can see, just like other Kubernetes tools here, You can see we need to create a namespace using this command kubectl create ns argocd. So my namespace will be argocd. Okay. After that, let's install our ArgoCD, right? So ArgoCD can be installed using the manifest. So let's install ArgoCD. So okay, it's done. We have successfully installed our ArgoCD. Okay. Now the next step is we need a Helm, right? Here, as you can see in my prerequisite, I mentioned we need to install Helm. So let's check if I enter Helm version. So as you can see, Helm not found. So we need to install Helm, right? So how to install? So here is the command to install Helm. So I'm going to install Helm first. Then after that, the next step to give some permission using this chmod command. Okay. And get Helm sh. So yeah, it's done. We have successfully installed Helm. If I run the Helm version, so as you can see, we have successfully installed Helm. Okay. Now we have successfully installed Argo CD as well as Helm. Now, if you want to update your Helm repository, then you can run these two commands. Okay. Now, the next step is here create Docker file for Go app. We need to create our Docker file for Go app. So let's create Docker file using the below commands. So here is the command sudo nano and Docker file. So my Docker file name will be Docker file, and in this file I'm going to paste these lines. Okay. So as you can see here I mentioned 8081 port, right? So our port number is for Go app, port number is 8081. So remember this. So let's save the file and exit. Then after that, the next step is let's create Go application, that main.go file. So we need to create this main.go file using this command. So I'm going to create main.go file, and in this I'm going to paste this lines. Okay, let's save the file and exit. Okay, after that I'm going to create this go.mode file also. Sudo nano, and in this file I'm going to add these lines. Let's save the file and exit. Okay, after that, now the next step is here step number 4. Okay, the step 4 is create Helm chart for the application and modify the Helm chart files. So now let's create a Helm chart file. Sorry, Helm, right? So I'm going to create a Helm folder. So the command is like that: Helm create and your folder name. So my folder name will be chart. So as you can see, creating chart, if I run the ls command, so as you can see, my Helm folder is created. Okay, so let's inside the folder. Now if I run the ls command, so as you can see the files. So first of all, let's inside the templates. I'm going to modify my deployment.yaml file. If I run the ls command, so as you can see deployment.yaml. So let's do sudo nano and deployment.yaml. So I'm going to remove this first. So I'm going to remove this code. So let's remove this code first. So wait a second. Yep, it's almost done. Okay. So now I'm going to replace this deployment.yaml file with this. Okay, from here to here. Okay, so let's understand the file first. So my application name is GoApp, and this replicas too. And here my also app name is GoApp, then templates and container and the image. In image, as you can see, first of all, values dot repository and the tag name. And here also I mentioned my port number is 8081. Okay, so let's save the file and exit. Now the next file is service.yaml file, right? So I'm going to modify my service.yaml file. So I'm going to remove this. Okay. And after that here, service.yaml file. Okay, so in this file, first of all, name, then selector name, ports, and the port number is 8081 and target port also 8081. So let's save the file and exit. Then after that now, let's modify our values.yaml file. So the command is sudo nano values.yaml file. So I'm going to remove this values.yaml file. So I'm going to remove this code first. Okay. So let's remove this code first. So it's done almost. Yeah. Okay. And now I'm going to replace this code to this my file values.yaml file. So as you can see in values.yaml file, first of all, repository, and my repository name is DevOps and my app name is that my image name is GoApp and tag. So here is my tag, right? After that, okay, sorry. So that's the my values.yaml file. That's it. Repository and the tag. So I'm going to save my values.yaml file and I exit. After that, if I run the ls command, so let's let's edit sudo nano with chart.yaml file, right? So I'm going to remove this, or I'm going to comment these lines. And now here I'm going to replace this with my this file, chart.yaml file. So your first of all API version, the name is Go App, then description, a Go App application, type application, version and version, so right. Okay, so let's save the file and exit. Now after that, the next step is let's create ArgoCD workflow to deploy application in ArgoCD. So we need to create this ArgoCD workflow, right? So first of all here, let's create the workflow, right? So let's create, here you can see create ArgoCD workflow to deploy the in ArgoCD. So create a new folder, that apps, right? And create a new folder in apps. Sorry, create a new folder apps. And here in this folder, let's create this YAML file, right? Go app deploy minikube.yaml file. So let's create a new folder here. Where on the ls command apps, so let's inside the apps folder, and here let's enter sudo nano, and the name is my file here, and here I'm going to copy this, paste here. Okay, it's done. So here you have successfully created a new folder, that apps, and in this folder we have created new file and an app folder, and our file name is go app deploy minikube.yaml. Okay. Now the next step is push go app code and Docker file to your GitHub repo. So we need a GitHub repository here, right? So here you can see, first of all, you need to create a new repo, then click on new button to create a new repo, then provide a name for your repository, then and description, it's optional. Then let's click on this create repository. Okay. After that, here initialize your git and link the repository. So first of all here, you need to push first of all you need to create a repository, and after creating your repository you need to push this code into your repository. So as you can see here, I have already created my repository with the name GitOps Workflow Deploy Go App Minikube using ArgoCD, right? So as you can see here, I have already created my repository. So after that, after creating repository, you need to push this code into a repository, which code, Dockerfile, that apps folder, chart folder, then go mode, then main.go, then right? That's some file. So as you can see here, so you need to push this code into a repository. So how to push? So the command is here. First of all, you need to enter this git.add. Then you need to commit the changes with the meaningful message by running the following command. So the command is git commit -m, and in double quote your commit. Then push the code to the remote repository by running the following command, right? Git push, and then you have successfully pushed your code into your repository. So as you can see, I have successfully pushed my code into my repository. So as you can see here, first of all, apps, if apps folder, there is a file that go server .yaml file, right? So as you can see here, the file is here, right? That's the file. Okay. Then after that here, you can see the folders. So first of all, after that, apps folder, right? So app folder, then here Dockerfile, readme.md file, that's the by default, then go.mode file, main.go file, and git ignore and docker ignore, right? And in chart file, as you can see, the deployment.yaml file, values.yaml file, as you can see in values.yaml file, right? And then in templates, as you can see, the deployment and egress and so on, right? Okay. So as you can see here in values.yaml file, right? So here, first of all, image repository, my repository name, the tag, and in chart, if I go to the templates, that means my deployment.yaml file. So as you can see, the port number and so on. So, okay, so let's change the port number here. 8081. Okay, and service file 8081 and values.yaml file and the Docker file 8081, right? Okay, so that's the my repository. So the next step is in repository, we need to add secrets here. Okay, after push this repository here, as you can see, the next step is here. Okay, after that, after pushing our code, so we have successfully pushed this code into our repository, right? So after that, here we need to run the following command to port forward the ArgoCD UI to our local machine. So we need to run this command to access our ArgoCD in our browser. So let's run the command. So it's forwarding the port. So my port number of ArgoCD, my port number is 8080. So to access ArgoCD, you need to copy your instance IP and paste in new tab, and the port number is 8080 for ArgoCD. Click on advanced and proceed to this, and the default username is admin and the default password is, so to access our password we need to run this command to access the password. So retrieve the ArgoCD admin password by running the following command. So let's open the new session and let's access the passwords. Okay, so password from here to here. Click on sign in. So as you can see, we are successfully signed into our ArgoCD UI. Okay, now it's done. Now the next step is here, step number 8, GitHub action workflow to build Docker image and push to the DockerHub. Right, so let's create our workflow. So in your GitHub repository, create the directory .github, and in this github.github, we need to create a folder workflows. And in this folder, we need to create a file, that's cd.yaml file. And we need to paste this code into this file, right? So before creating our workflow, we need to configure the Docker Hub and GitHub secrets, right? So first of all, here you can see in your GitHub repository, go to the settings tab. In the left sidebar, click on secrets and click on the new repository secrets and add the following secrets. So first of all, the first secret is Docker username. So let's add Docker username. So as you can see in here, Docker Hub username, right? So I'm going to copy the name, Dockerhub username, and go to the repository, go to the settings, click on secrets, click on actions, and add new repository secret. And secret name is Dockerhub username. So my Dockerhub username is DevOps Hint, and click on add secret. Now the next secret is DockerHub token. That means your DockerHub password. So let's click on new repository secret and enter DockerHub token. So I'm going to enter my DockerHub token. As you can see, I have successfully created my two secret. First of all, DockerHub username and DockerHub token, right? Okay. Now the next step is, okay, it's done, right? It's done. Now update GitHub action permission. So we need to update our GitHub action permission. So how? So first of all, go to the actions and click on general, and let's scroll down. You can see workflow permission. So we need to read and write permission and click on save. And now let's create a workflow. So I'm going to click on action simply, and then click on this set up a workflow yourself. And here I'm going to create my workflow using this code. So let's understand. So first of all, name, branch, main, the build now runs this Ubuntu latest, the step, the login to Docker, right? So the secret is DockerHub username and password, right? Okay. Then build our DockerHub image. So here we are going to build our image, and the tag is DevOps hint, and the image name is Go app. Then it's a tag, right? And the tag is latest. Then update. After that update, you can see update your Helm manifest and the build, then step. And here you can see update image tag values. So our image tag is in our values, right? Values.yaml file. Our image tag is in our values.yaml file. So here the chart directory, our directory name is chart, right? And new image tag and github.sha. Then here, as you can see, update the values.yaml with the new image tag, right? So that's the 43 line number, means update the values.yaml file with the new image tag. So that's why here you can see the image tag is in our chart.directory values.yaml file. So it's update, right? When we commit changes and when we run our workflow, so it will automatically update our image tag is in values.yaml file. Then it's commit changes, right? That means it commit changes to our values.yaml file, so it will push the automatically change that tag to this values.yaml file. So that's why that's the commit the changes code. Okay, so it will push this code into this values.yaml file. So when we run our workflow, so it will automatically changes our tag and it will push to our values.yaml file. Okay, now click on commit changes and go to the actions. And as you can see, it's is in queue. So wait a second. So now it's log into Docker. Now it's build and push the image. So as you can see, it's building and push the image. So okay. So as you can see, it's done. Build and push the image. You can see we have succeed. Okay. Succeed now 42 seconds. Now let's go to the next step, that update the Helm manifest. So it's also done. As you can see, our pipeline is succeed. Okay. Now let's go to the Docker Hub and refresh the page. So as you can see, the last push less than a minute ago. That means we have successfully pushed our Docker image to our Docker Hub, right? So here in this image, as you can see, the Docker Hub image, right? So when we run our workflow, then it will go to the Docker Hub, right? So as you can see here, if I click on this new Go app, and if I check the latest tag here, as you can see, the tag is 1FC99, right? And if I go to my repository and go to the values.yaml file, and the tag is 1FC99, right? That's the same tag. After that, when we run your workflow again, then it will automatically change the tag and it will push this code into this your YAML file, and after that it will, when we run our workflow, it will push this image tag and image to your GitHub, sorry, DockerHub. Okay. Now the next step is here. After that, now the next step is deploy to Go application on Minikube using GitOps Workflow. So let's deploy the application on Minikube using GitOps Workflow using this ArgoCD. Now click on simply new app, and here we are going to create this using YAML file. So click on edit as YAML. So here we need to enter this YAML file. So which file? So here go to the code, go to the apps, and here is our YAML file. So let's copy this YAML file and simply paste here, right? So here you need to enter your repository. Okay, here you need to enter your repository URL. So let's enter your repository URL. Okay, and your name, go app in the cluster, namespace default, path chart, that means your Helm Chart folder, and the values.yaml file, project, and so on. Click on save and click on create. So as you can see, our application, now click on this and click on sync. So as you can see, it's synced. So here, let's clear the screen first. And now here, if I run the kubectl get pods, so as you can see, one of one, two applications, and the status is running. Now if I run the SVC, that means service. So as you can see, the Go app service, right? And the port number is 8081. And if I run the deploy, so as you can see, Go app to ready, available is 2, and the age is 31 seconds ago. Okay, so it's done. Now if I, as you can see, the app health status is healthy, right? Okay. Now after that, here let's access in our browser. So let's access this Go app image in our browser. So how to access? So first of all, you need to forward the port first, right? So as you can see here, let's forward the port to access the image in browser. So the command is here. So the command is kubectl port forward SVC and your image name. So my image name is Go app address and 0.0.0, that means any IP address, and the port number is 8081, right? So let's hit on enter. Now as you can see, it's forwarding port. So now go to your instance, copy your instance IP, hit on browser, and the port number is 8081. Now as you can see, hello world. That's our image, right? So here we have successfully create our, so here we have successfully create GitOps workflow with ArgoCD and GitHub Actions. So in this session, we have learned how to create GitOps workflow with ArgoCD and GitHub Actions. So I hope you understand, and thank you for watching.